Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Cleo the Seer. I'm a psychic, a medium, and a seer. And this little guy over here is little Jesus. He is the stand-in for the real Jesus, who is my main spirit guide. I have many others, particularly when it comes to the topic of today, which is the political stuff. Um, I have a whole group of spirit guides that are up in arms about politics. And they have asked me to talk to you about a thing called Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project. Now, if you haven't heard of this, I suggest you do look it up on the internet and on YouTube. There's many articles and videos that explain what this is all about. So in a nutshell, this is a manifesto developed by a group that calls themselves right now Project 2025, that lays out exactly how the country will be run when their nominee, Donald Trump, is president in 2025. And basically, it's the perfect recipe to destroy our democracy and build up an authoritarian society run by Donald Trump. Their plan is based on lies and fabrications, which we're all getting used to. I mean, there hasn't been an honest word spoken from the Republicans in, I don't remember the last time they said anything that was true. But yeah, their plans based on lies and fabrications, claiming that the government is out to ruin Donald Trump and ruin his campaign. And it goes back to that Donald Trump claims, and the Republicans now claim, and this is what they base everything on, that the 2020 election was stolen. And that not only was it stolen, it justified their actions as an insurrection on January 6th to try to overthrow the government. Just like his previous administration, which was based on all lies in the first place, but we didn't know that for sure until after he'd been indicted and found guilty of 34 felonies. We now know that his whole administration has constantly been based on lies. And now it's almost ridiculous to even listen to him, or the other Republicans they're supporting the lies, and because they have to, because this is how they're justifying what they're doing with Project 2025. So even though there's been 60 court cases that showed that there was no election fraud, that Biden was the true winner of the presidential for the votes, that he is the genuine person to be running the office of president. And like I said, they took it to court 60 different times, 60 different courts, 60 different judges. They all came to the same conclusion, that there was no irregularities. We're talking about zero, none, nada. That's in the end of it. But these people don't accept that, so they're going by their own reality, their own truths, which is not based in reality. Okay, so a little background on the Project 2025. It's supported by something called the Heritage Foundation, and this goes back to the Reagan administration, and is basically a think tank for conservative politicians and how they want the Republicans to run the country. So, and their plan is, they've set this plan up for the first 180 days of Trump being in office. which they will immediately get rid of everybody in all the civil servants, all the different departments, Department of Justice, Department of Education, and they'll just throw out all these employees. We're talking millions of employees, really. Those people will just all lose their job, and they'll be replaced with their people. Oh, God. And their people, generally, as we have seen in the past, many of them do not have the education or the knowledge of how to run their different departments. And they won't need it because they're going to be told exactly what to do, and that's what they will do. And this is just so crazy. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is a real thing. So, like I said, you need to look up some of this information on the internet because it's just unbelievable. So, what will the Republicans do with certain issues that we're all concerned with? Although we have trouble ever getting from Trump anything that has to do with helping us, they do have a thing in their manifesto about different ways of dealing with situations that we are concerned with. For one of those is Social Security. The Republicans want to cut $1.5 trillion from Social Security and raise the age for eligibility to 69. And they also want to cut disability benefits. So this means that whatever benefits you're getting today, at this time next year, you will be getting less, considerably less. And we all know that it's not enough as it is, it's just not enough. But we're happy. I think everybody's happy to get what they can get. But to say that they want to cut $1.5 trillion from Social Security is absurd. So why do they want to cut that kind of money out of Social Security? Is because and they're not thinking about the millions of seniors. They're not thinking about the disabled people. That's irrelevant. This is to make up for the shortfall that they're going to run into as soon as they cut taxes for the wealthy and rich and people that can actually afford to pay the taxes. They want to limit their taxing and take away from Social Security and disability and other programs. Good plan, right? Amazing. So then we move on to Medicare, because they don't stop with Social Security. Their plan is to transition Medicare to a premium support system, which will significantly raise your premium. So now you're not only getting less money per month, that wasn't that great in the first place. You're not only getting less money, but you're going to have to pay more to get your health care through Medicare. And that includes prescriptions, and you have no say over it. There's nothing you can do about it. Once this is established by the all-new Trump administration, the one that's going to make America great again, not so great for millions and millions of Social Security recipients. All in all, you will be screwed. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So moving right along, let's talk about abortion. Now, Donald Trump takes credit for the Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade. Wow, what a great thing he did for the people there. He just annihilated all women's rights to tell them what they can and cannot do with their body, as well as it will filter down into more. It's not just about abortion. It's about women's rights as well. So they want to put a national ban on abortion. However, if you read through the manifesto, You'll see where they suddenly kind of backstep this whole thing. Even Trump's doing that now, and saying, well, no, we want to put it with the state, let the state decide. Well, no, that's not what they want to do in reality. That's what they're telling you now, because they see that a lot of women, especially, well, men and women, are just like, I'm not so sure that this is a good plan. And weren't things working out just fine for over 50 years? Having abortion the way legalized? And it saved many lives. And I don't need to go into all that. You guys are well aware of what the last 50 years has been like with legalized abortion. And don't think that it stops there. It's not just about abortion. It's about women's rights. So if you want to lose your rights, all you women out there, go ahead, vote for Trump. So then how about the Supreme Court? The ones that were so graciously willing to take away that right. Well, and Trump taking full credit for it, we know now that the Supreme Court is they back up Trump. They're working for Trump. They are not a oh God, I can't remember the word. Anyway, he handpicked these people to be on the Supreme Court so that he could get his way for whatever he wanted to do. Like he said, he's the one that takes credit for the abortion ban, and right now, I mean, we're being held hostage for this presidential immunity thing. There's so many other court cases against Trump, and the Supreme Court has decided to hold things up basically by not making a decision about immunity, when we already know that the appellate court agreed that no, there is no such thing as full immunity for anybody. And why would there be? Trump claims, well, to be president, you have to have immunity. Well, you do have immunity at certain levels, but you don't have immunity to start an insurrection. You don't have immunity to manipulate and try to rig the voting system, which is another thing I'll talk about later. So we have a problem with Supreme Court. We have a problem with the Republicans, and the people on the Supreme Court, the justices, are supposed to be impartial. That's the word I was trying to figure out earlier. They're supposed to be impartial. That's part of being a judge. Well, some of them are blatantly not impartial, like the guy that flew the flag upside down, Alito, and his wife. And what does he do? He throws the wife under the bus and says, and now he's also trying to claim he didn't know what an upside down flag meant. No, the Alitos, they totally support Trump and his insurrection, and they totally believe that election was stolen from him. And that's exactly what all the Republicans want you to believe. The problem is that they say this, but nobody has produced one bit of evidence that this is the case, because it is not. There is no evidence to show that. As a matter of fact, as I just explained about the 60 courts and judges, it's not there. It never happened. President Biden is supposed to be president, and he never stole any. Well, he was never involved in that anyway. But Trump's always talking about crooked Joe Biden. No. It's crooked Donald Trump, and he is so pissed off because he was caught and found guilty of 34 felony counts. Does he ever talk about that? Or does he ever try to explain to anybody what happened? No, because there is no explanation. He is guilty as guilty can be, and he's using these things to say, see, this is what they did to me. Like out of the blue, they just made up all this stuff about a porn star and about hush money and covering it up and paying somebody off. No, that's exactly what happened. And he didn't want that to get out because he knew it would affect his ability to become president. Things would have been so much different had we known the truth. And had he not, what he did is his defense was pointing the finger at Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton did something wrong. Never happened. Okay. So of the things I just discussed, what will happen? This is what will happen if Trump gets into office, but what will happen if Biden gets into office? How does he feel about all these things? Well, let's start with abortion. As you know, President Biden wants to codify Roe versus Wade and take back women's rights for abortion and safe reproductive health. And it would have happened by now. But the Republicans just put the kibosh on the whole thing, said, oh, no, we're not going there. Which they've done with Biden every step of the way of his administration. But so anyway, the Republicans made sure that they couldn't pass any legislation like that. And so the only reason people are suffering, women are suffering right now, and just it's really been horrible for some women. And you can all lay it at the feet of the Republicans. So then what about Social Security? Well, Biden, Grandpa Joe, he wants to give you more money. He wants to increase Social Security. He doesn't want to take 1 point trillions of dollars away from Social Security. As a matter of fact, he understands that this is money we have all paid into the system to receive this Social Security. And although the Social Security goes up by the cost of living adjustment, also known as COLA, but President Biden sees that COLA increases have not kept up with today's economy. And that's why he wants to give us all more money. And he wants to obviously keep Social Security disability in place. And he does not feel that Social Security is the proper avenue to save money. This is not, he will go, well, he will change taxes. I don't know exactly what he's done with taxes so far, but he does believe in the rich paying their fair share. So there was also Medicare, which the Trump administration will. I think I already covered that, but anyway, they'll raise your premiums. Well, Biden wants to do exactly the opposite. He wants those premiums to come down. He wants to reduce prescription costs, and he's already done that, particularly with life-saving insulin. So this really, really, this is just polar opposites between the Trump Republican administration and the Biden Democrat administration. And then what about the Supreme Court? Well, Trump sees that there will be, in his second term, he'll have at least 2 new seats to fill on the Supreme Court. he admonishes the Supreme Court for overturning Roe versus Wade. And he says that the Supreme Court justices are out of step to overturn that ruling, and that the law has been just fine for over 50 years. I guess, yeah, there's been people that debate about it, people that get all up in arms about it. I still can't figure out why men would have anything at all to say about this. It's a human right. It's a people right. It's women's rights. So that's one thing about the Supreme Court. And then on the border, oh boy, they just love to tear down Biden about the border. Now, on Trump's side of the border, he wants to, I guess it's mass deportation is what he's pushing for. And, if you think back, we all see how well he handled this in the first place about the wall that would be built by money from Mexico. And Mexico said, no, that's not happening. But he did put up some wall, and not the way he said it would. We paid for it. Mexico didn't pay for it. And he also didn't mind a bit to separate children from their parents. And this was probably the most disgusting and inhumane thing I had seen in a long time, where they would take children and put them in cages and give them aluminum blankets or whatever those things were, and separate them from their parents. Well, President Biden just does not want to do that. He wants this to be handled humanely, and he's doing what he can. Now he's trying to stop having too many people cross the border at one time. And again, the Republicans aren't happy with that, even though they have suggested it. And all the different things that President Biden wants to do, he has tried to hand them a package, or to produce, he's given them a package that did exactly what they wanted to do in the first place, but they turned it down because Trump told them to. Because Trump wants to take credit for this. And he said, that it would help for his election if they turned down Biden. So they turned him down, then they turned around and said, look, Biden's done nothing. He's a disaster. Perfect. That's just the way they work. So this thing about Project 2025 is the opportunity. It leaves open an opportunity for Trump to go after every single person that's done anything to him, meaning all the judges, all the prosecutors, all the courts, the DOJ, everything that he has, that he's so angry about. He just wants to go after these people and get them. And his campaign so far, as far as I think anybody can see, it has nothing to do with helping the country. And this thing about that he's still trying to make America great again, when America has always been great, but he's still trying to do it. And he's got the mega followers looking around like, yeah, we're going to do something new. No, they're not doing it. Those people do not understand what Trump has in mind, and they're cheering him on like, yay, look at what he's doing. And by the way, there's some things coming up with a voter fraud. If you've noticed, everything Trump says and a negative about Biden and the Democrats and the justice system is really, it should be aimed at him, not these other people. So he wants to Hold on a minute. Okay, I wanted to mention that voter fraud. Voter fraud is going to be rampant in November. And this is because this is how, Trump came out and said one day, the voting is rigged. He also told people, I don't need your vote. You don't have to vote for me. I don't need your vote. Okay, two things here that worry me. When he says the voting is rigged, he's saying, I have rigged the voting system. And when he says, I don't need your vote, that means he's confident enough to know that the way he's rigged things, he's going to get the votes he wants. So I know that there's people that are, knowledgeable people, politicians, Democrats, certain agencies that are watching this Project 2025. Well, they're also watching how the voting is going to go. And by the way, there's been many, many Republicans that are just, they're so disillusioned by Donald Trump. They don't really want to vote for Biden, but they don't want a country, they don't want an authoritarian run country. They want democracy, what we've always had. So when it gets to the voting, I'm hoping that, no. On a psychic level, I totally feel that there is a number of groups that will be watching this very, very closely. And the other thing was that Trump suddenly now it's okay for mail-in voting. I think this is clearly one of the ways that he is going to cheat the voting system. He will do everything he can to get that electoral college vote because he knows the rest of it doesn't matter. As long as he gets the electoral college vote, Biden can go ahead and have the popular vote. He doesn't care because he'll be president. And we have to be really, really careful about that. And I see, first of all, I see that, and all the psychics on here have said the same thing, that that Trump will not be president. I believe that as well, but I'm also thinking I don't want to be cocky about it. I don't want to just assume this is going to happen because I guess because of what Hillary Clinton went through. I mean, I kind of assumed it then that, she was going to be president, but I've just brought up a number of ways that a Trump presidency it'd be cataclysmic. It would just be the worst thing that's ever happened to our country. Countries around the world are scared to death that we are going to put Trump back in the White House. They don't like him. They think what a lot of people think in America, that he's just kind of a nut job. On the other hand, this voting thing that concerns me is that he's got foreign countries that do want him to be in there because he's so goofy. He wants to be friends with Putin and Rocket Man. So I'm feeling very much that yes, Biden will be our next president. But what we're going through right now, it just feels so precarious. And you have no idea how close we are to have an authoritarian rule. It's just, it was unimaginable, and all the lies and it just amazes me that we are kind of numb to the whole thing because we've been hearing it over and over and over again ever since 2016 and just never stops. And they just keep saying, they keep repeating the same lies over and over until you're finally like, okay, yeah, whatever, leave me out of it. But this is a serious, serious thing. And this Project 2025 and the people behind it they're only out for themselves. This does not help anybody but them. And those people are rich and they want to control things. And their agenda is, supposedly just conservative. My goodness, it goes way beyond that. So that is what I'm bringing this whole thing up for, is so that everybody knows that yes, we're gonna get through this, but it's gonna be a struggle. But then again, I don't want to worry everybody. We've got a lot of things coming up currently with the Supreme Court supposedly is going to come up with some kind of decision. I kind of see it as they will sidestep and not actually make an actual decision, but somehow put it down into another lower court. They're going to sidestep it. I don't see them coming out with anything. And if they do come out with anything, it'll be way, way, way too late. It'll be the election will come and go, and we still won't know this question about immunity, presidential immunity. Also, President Trump. See, I got Biden on the mind because Biden's going to get it, but the disgraced former felon Donald Trump he's going to be sentenced in July, and then soon after that, there's the Republican convention. So where they say that he's going to be the one running for president. I see all kinds of strange things happening there. When I look at the convention, people have mentioned that they think Trump's going to get sick. Well, we already know that he is sick, but I mean, he's going to get sicker and stuff. I'm not so sure about all that, and I'm not sure, well, eventually, but I'm not sure about the timing. And so the thing I see with the convention is like this big void, vacant. Something's vacant. Now, I don't know if I'm seeing that Trump mentally is vacant, or if he physically isn't there, or if he's going to be on a big on a big screen, like at the sports events. Instead of actually being there, he'll be televised through I don't know what that's whatever that screen thing's called. Anyway, I don't know if he's actually going to be there, or if the sentencing has something to do with it. I mean, there's just so many variables here. But yes, he will eventually be the one that's running on the Republican ticket for president. I also see that when it comes down to it, and like everybody's saying that Biden's going to win. I see not only is Biden going to win, he's going to win by a landslide. Are people super happy about Biden? Well, they're a hell of a lot happier than what the polls say. The polls are, we talk about something rigged. The polls are rigged. It depends on who they're calling. Are they calling a wide variety of people, or are they just calling on Republicans? Who knows? You cannot believe the polls. But yeah, they have so much negativity towards Biden, and it's disheartening, because he does not deserve that. He really deserves to be recognized for everything that he's done for us, which has been just amazing, and just really The recovery from the pandemic has been epic. I mean, who knew this could even happen this way? And, you know, to blame him for all the financial difficulties is not unfair. It's not his responsibility. He was not responsible for that. As a matter of fact, it was Trump that left us when he left office, he left the largest deficit ever of any president. And he left it up to the next person, which happened to be Biden, to try to fix it. So I'm just hoping that these other groups that are working to stop this, well, they're not working to stop Project 2025, but they're working to make you aware of it so that everybody has a fair shake here and knows what to expect. And that's mainly why I put out this video today. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for watching this, and please like and subscribe to my channel. I need that. I will be talking about this more because it's so critical and so important. And I hope I've been clear about what's going on here. And I just thank you so much for watching. So I'll see everybody soon. Bye-bye.